I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
Greetings, champions, and welcome back to Campione Reacts. That's right, we have a new, fresh set of clips for us to evaluate. Who I mean by us is myself and the amazing Tugs. Hey, Tugs, how are you doing on this wonderful day?
I'm doing good. Back again. Back again.
Back again. You know, you and Steph kind of do the same little mannerisms sometimes on the entry. I love it. It's kind of cute. All right, so that's right. Little dance, little smiley, little voice. It just sounds like you're in a Japanese anime or something. But look, today we have some interesting clips. I think you will enjoy. We've done a few of these. There is a playlist building on it. This is all about when men don't ask questions, which apparently we do a lot. I don't know, but Tugs, let's go. Can't wait to hear what you think.
That men aren't asking questions on dates anymore. It's that when they do ask questions, they're not actually listening. Like, they'll ask you a question just for the sake of asking a question because they've dated before. They know that that's what you're supposed to do. But then when they ask you, you know they're not listening. They're not really trying to get to know you. And then they claim to really like you. And you're like, dude, you know nothing about me. You know what I did last night, but that's about it.
Wow, you know what I did last night, but that's about it. Do you find that to be true, Tugs?
I mean, I haven't dated in a while, but I don't know. I thought this was gonna be her saying how men never ask any juicy questions, which is very true. Not on a date, but in general. Like, what do you mean your coworkers broke up? Why? I don't know. I don't know. It's been a very long time since I've been on dates. I'm trying to think about when Duke, my boyfriend now, and I met. He seemed interested in the questions he was asking. Maybe she's just boring.
Okay, and that's a legitimate thing, and that sometimes is the conclusion y'all come to.
Maybe he's
you
just
ladies,
not that into you.
Well, and that's the other thing. That's the other assumption, right? He's not that into you. But I can tell you this: a man's going to ask you questions, and he will retain some of that information. And his level of interest is normally in how insightful are his questions rather than whether or not he even asked them. Because most guys will be like, yeah, so what book are you reading now? That's a great question. I used to use that one all the time because it gave me information. First of all, whether or not this person was an actual reader, and second, what they were keen on and whether or not that would be another level on which we align. But my question is, if you don't feel like a person, it doesn't have to be a relationship person, but for the purpose of this conversation, it would be. What are like some signals that would indicate that the guy isn't that interested in you, and or you aren't that interesting a person?
I mean, I think most people are interesting in their own way, but if somebody's not interested in you in general or interested in hearing, I mean, you're gonna get that feeling, and we girls are really good at this feeling that we get it a lot. It happens. We've grown up with this feeling where you kind of feel like you're in a group and you're speaking, nobody is listening to you, or they cut you off and you just kind of fade into the background and nobody really notices. If you get that same feeling, maybe perhaps the person isn't all that interested in what you have to say. And that could be because on a dating purpose, it could be because they heard something that they didn't like and they've already decided, this isn't for me. On the flip side of that, I think still be nice. Like, you don't have to be rude, but what do I know? That could be, I mean, we know we've forced ourselves to ignore it, but we know, you just can feel it. You can feel if they're not paying attention. Maybe they kind of roll their eyes a little, or when you're talking, they check their phone, or, you get excited about something and they go, like they give you a big sigh, that kind of thing. That you just, there's mannerisms, that you can pick up on, in my opinion.
No, I think you're 100% right. I think you can definitely tell when somebody's just completely disengaged. And that's the worst feeling, because then you are also thinking, wow, this person's thinking I can't wait for this to end, and I'm now waiting for this to end. Maybe I should figure out a way to end it faster. But we're not done. That was just number one. There is more awkward coming. I promise. Here we go.
few months ago, I went on a first date with a guy from Hinge, and on his profile, he said he was looking for a long-term relationship. I was like, period, a man who knows what he wants, and he's going to say it loudly and proudly. We love that. We get on the first date, he's telling me about himself. He's like, yeah, I'm looking for a partner. I like to travel, blah, blah. I would love to have kids. Amazing. Doesn't ask me a single question about me. The only time he found things out about me is if I asked him first, and he was like, well, what about you? So you're telling me a person you've never met before, you have nothing to ask. You don't want to know anything. The art of asking questions might be dead. Curiosity was not in the room with us. It's so difficult for me to understand because I'm literally so curious about everyone ever all the time. I want to know everything. One thing about me is I'm gonna call it out. I literally said, is there anything that you want to know about me? He said, oh, I'm good. You're good? You're all good? You're good on what? You're good on what? And so I'm thinking, okay, I've been on dates before where I'm not really feeling the first date, and I'm like mindful of the questions I ask because I don't want to give them the wrong idea. The man asked me on a second date, but it's giving I could be anybody. It's giving it could be a wall and he would be good. And I don't know if this is an epidemic of men who are good looking, who have never had to try a day in their life, or like what the tea is. And unfortunately, this isn't the first time this has happened to me, and I know this is happening to some of y'all out there too, Stacey.
Wow.
I honestly don't know. I've been there. I don't know, and I found myself being like, nothing. Okay, and then but I wonder, and this is before online dating, so I don't know. Maybe everything he needs to know about her was in her dating profile.
And that's actually what I was going to ask you. Is it possible she just fleshed herself out so well on Hinge? Okay, yay. But is it possible that happened where he's just like, well, I know everything about you. Plus the fact that you think that where the stars aligned when you were born were actually important to your life. So, I'm not even going to venture down that road. That's 20 minutes of life lost if you ask any about their star signs. But hey, no, but I'm asking you a question. So Tugs let's assume that not everything was perfect in her profile, that she didn't somehow tell her life story and, digitally. Is she right to be worried, or is it because men aren't outwardly inquisitive because they aren't trying to be rude? What do you think?
I don't know. I always had a hard time with this too, because it could very well be everything he needed to see was on her profile, but then why ask her out on a second date if you didn't have anything else to ask her? Why ask her on a date in the first place? Why ask her to dinner instead of an activity? Maybe an activity. I don't know what they did. I'm assuming a dinner. Where you're doing something semi-physical and then conversation naturally comes up. I don't know what goes on in your guys' brains. Women are just naturally more inquisitive. She's right. We are. We're as a whole, we're more naturally, what's going on? What's going on? How's that happening? What's your favorite color? Blah, blah, blah. That's just naturally us. Men aren't. We want to know, you guys want to know whatever list you have. And once you know it, you've made up a decision. Must be nice. But this has been so weird to me. I wish I had better insight because I'm as lost as she is. Why not ask more questions? There had to have been something that you did or did not see on her profile that you're like, what is this? Why is this? Where is this? Why is Gamora? That kind of a thing. Nothing? Did he ask her on a second date because he's hoping to just nail it and quit it? I have questions. I have questions. He does not, but I do.
Yeah, you should have gone on a date with her, Tugs. That'd have been probably way more interesting. Yeah. By the way, if you're interested, you can watch her on a show with our friend X-Ray Girl, called Poor Choices. It's got its own channel, I think. Holy cow! But anyway, y'all are great. You don't stop asking questions. Sometimes you ask the wrong ones, and then I try to help you in the chat. But if you want to help them in the chat, go and check out that show. It's a good time. All right, we got one more of these to send your mind into absolute spin. You are just, I love to make the ladies spin. Here we go.
On the topic of 100 men versus asking a woman a question about herself, I was just listening to another creator say that she had been chatting with a guy and it had taken him so long to ask her a question that she was just going to turn it into a bit and see how long it took. I'll tag her below, but it reminded me of this absolutely insane conversation I had on Tinder one time where I matched with this guy and we got maybe 10 messages in, and I noticed that he hadn't asked a single question despite there being a lot of opportunities to do so, to be oh, how about you? So I just let it play out. I was like, how long is it going to take? And it went a really long time, a whole day's worth of messages and he didn't ask a single question. And I was like, okay, this seems purposeful. So finally I asked him about it and I was like, hey dude, like, do you not believe in questions? And he said, no, I don't believe in questions because statements are more powerful. This man is really out here trying to wield power over women by not asking them questions and only saying statements. I always thought that people who didn't ask questions on dating apps were just like really boring or horrible conversationalists or not interested. But that day, I learned that there are literally men out here using not asking questions and only saying statements as a dating strategy. And I just have to know who they think this works on.
I mean, it worked on her. Not for her to date him, but she's spiraling, so clearly it worked.
Yes, yes, get him to spin. Indeed, look, she's got a good question, and I don't know if you were going to speculate and do. Okay, first of all, is that a good strategy? Let me ask you that. And second, is it off-putting because you really enjoy talking about yourself? I'm not saying you specifically, but women. And second, is that actually causing people to fail at dating because they're not like being freakishly inquisitive?
I think what we women tend to forget sometimes is we could literally talk all day. So a lot of the times men don't aren't able to, but B or don't need to, especially online. Like she's giving him everything, you know, by asking whatever questions she's saying, or like, oh my gosh, I found a caterpillar in my garden today, or oh, the sun is out and it's 100 degrees, or oh, blah, 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 blah. Like we just don't be quiet. So he's learning everything he needs to know about her, and she's learning everything she needs to know about him because she asked the question and he's not answering her. Same with the girl before. You know, he's answering her, but he already knows about her, at least from what in this specific case, because she's yapping at him all day. So she knows what she's saying and he's getting a read on her for that. But I do think I don't know that I don't know that it's either a good strategy or a bad strategy. I mean, you're definitely able to find out more about a person that way because women, we talk a lot in general and then we get nervous, which makes us talk even more, and then we're in circles and we're saying the same things over and over again. So it's just I don't know. I think that if you're interested, maybe pipe up every now and then. I don't know that it's a good or a bad strategy. I don't know if that would work on me, to be honest. Maybe. I don't know. See how I'm spiraling? Yeah.
yeah, it's fine, but I mean that's the whole kind of, I guess the point is like I'll ask a kickoff question and then we're off to the races. And first of all, it's why I love this format because y'all have great insights into yourselves and other ladies, and all I have to do to conquer some of these questions about why men don't ask questions is to just start there and let other people start talking. So what I've noticed is people like to talk about themselves. So I think that's everybody has that piece of knowledge, but if you were to just shut up, you're going to learn so much more information because of the reason you said during your answer a minute ago. You get nervous and then you start, spinning.
Mm-hmm. It's actually an interrogation tactic for cops.
It is. Well, or military. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No. And again, it is, but it's very informative and it gives you some more insight because sometimes people will give you even more information if you're quiet. And that's why, well, first of all, men are just habitually quiet. We just are. Because in our lives, even from elementary school onward, we've learned that no matter what we say, nobody else is really finding it all that interesting. But if, as a woman, and if there are women watching, I know there's some of you out there, but if women are watching, I'm going to give you a secret. Just shush it. If you ask a man a question and he starts to answer, if at any point in time, and we actually had a video that kind of explained this from a woman, if you just actually shush it, after that pause, count to 30. Give him 30 seconds before you ask another question or say another word. And that man is going to open up in a totally different way that you've never seen before. because it's just how we work. You know, if somebody's actually engaged, they allowed us to speak. They didn't interrupt us. They didn't cut us off. They didn't immediately start talking after we finished our sentence. Guess what? There's more there. So just a quick thing. If you're looking for a way to get your man to talk, just shush it.
Or
I
it
promise
takes
you.
that long for you guys to process the information.
That's also true. That's not a joke. Anyway, I just want to say I had a great time with you today. Thank you for helping me with why men don't ask questions. I hope I answered some of the reasons why we don't ask questions. And just know there's more of these. You can find them on the channel here in a playlist. In fact, we have multiple playlists now, and we will keep adding more as more crazy, dumb ideas come out of people's minds. But great ideas come out of this young lady's minds. Tugs, tell everybody what you do.
I am on YouTube, Kick, and Twitch. I mostly do gaming streams. I do have a new series of videos I will be starting. I don't know when this is going to get posted, but August 1st is the date of my new videos. So if you do check out my channel, they'll be in a playlist by themselves. You'll see them. And yeah, but mostly I do gaming streams. So you can find me over there on YouTube. Yeah. Tugs.
And you should. And it's just that simple. Check out her channel. You will see her lovely photo. You can also just look down there in the description below, and all of her information's down there, including her socials. You can follow her everywhere. She's a good follow and a great friend. On that note, for Campione Reacts, we're out.
Bye.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you want to be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up.